like the Evil Dead films, then you probably think this one's a massive rip-off. I'm talking about Demon Legacy, also known as See How They Run, a 2014 low-budget movie with a very, very similar premise to the aforementioned Evil Dead. Now, this basically focuses on a kind of group of girls, ex-sorority sisters, getting together some years later to try and nurse the broken heart of one of their members. So you've got this group of girls going to this kind of remote cabin in the woods. However, this cabin is a lot nicer than one in Evil Dead, I have to say. Now, the main character actually says early on in the movie she has a kind of some clairvoyant powers that will come into play a little bit later on in the movie. And of course, when you get lots of drunken girls living together in this kind of remote cabin, what else are they going to do? Of course, they're going to summon some evil spirits. One of the members finds this kind of Ouija board in the basement, and yes, it's a great idea to kind of mess around with that kind of stuff when you're in this kind of like remote place. Yes, they summon demons, and while we do sort of see there is kind of some supernatural presence even before they actually get to the Ouija board, so I guess you can argue they were kind of maybe fated to do that or something. And very suddenly, I have to say, some of the girls get kind of possessed and kind of go on a kind of a demonic rampage with the camera is kind of sped up to sort of give them the impression of this kind of some sort of demonic force. Now, on a bit of a segue here, there's quite an interesting little rumour I heard about this movie. Apparently, they had a lot of production problems with this film, and part of that production problems was some of the female cast left midway through the filming, and apparently it was because they were messing around with some of the crew behind the cameras. Now, what you'll see here is some of these girls are actually changed actresses. The actual characters change actress once they become demons. They kind of look a little bit different. And when we see the girls sort of first get possessed, they kind of just look like white makeup on their eyes and, you know, that kind of stuff. And a bit later on, they have more sort of full-on sort of prosthetics and things like that. And that's because they're different actresses, at least some of them anyway. Anyway, that's just a rumor. I don't know if it's true, but there you go. The actual makeup, I have to say, though, doesn't look too bad. But what does look bad is the kind of some crappy CGI effects that they've kind of used as well. When we see this demonic force, it kind of looks like this, basically like this dust that's kind of like floating around, and it looks very, very cheap. And I actually wish they had just kind of left it alone, to be quite honest. Acting wise, not too bad for this kind of level of film. Obviously, I'm not talking about any sort of Academy Award winning acting here, but I guess it's serviceable for this type of movie. I wonder if it was actually shot chronologically, because it actually seemed to get a little bit better as the film progresses, because the first few scenes, it's a little bit stilted, but as I say, the movie kind of goes on, they kind of settle into the roles a little bit, which makes me think maybe it was shot in order, if that makes sense. But this film, it really isn't anything original at all. It really is kind of just this kind of retread of this very sort of basic Evil Dead kind of style sort of film that we've seen sort of reproduced and taken the piss of in things like Cabin in the Woods. It does have a bit of a twist at the end, which I actually quite liked. I thought was quite clever. And I quite like that, but that was really the only sort of original thing here. You've got John Savage, who turns up as one of a few sort of random characters who just seem to sort of turn up in the middle of nowhere. And, you know, he's always quite interesting to watch. But overall, I have to say it was a relatively average film. There's no real scares here. There's not a lot of gore. There's not even really kind of any sort of jump scares. It is just kind of a very much a run-of-the-mill, certainly not bad movie, but kind of depressingly average kind of like demon possession flick. You've seen worse, I have no doubt, but I have to say there are better films as well. So I'm going to give this one a 4.5, just like slightly below average for me, if you kind of like your B-movie sort of demonic possession, Evil Dead rip-offs. Anyway, go check it out if you're into that sort of thing. Let me know what you thought of it. Leave me a comment and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.